we had been called for evacuation several times and then returned, which ultimately was to our disadvantage, and as well as I think a lot of our neighbors, because you become hardened to the evacuation process. And so we still took a lot of stuff, photo albums, and I even forgot a few of those, but you know, we took photo albums and some cherished things and framed pictures and that sort of thing. But we expected to be back home in a matter of hours. So I am an insurance agent with State Farm. And so we started taking a lot of customers' calls because we had a number of customers in that area. When it was all said and done, we had 7 total losses. And so have to credit my team. They did excellent work. They pulled up these fire maps that were being published, and they mapped out where our customers were, and they kept in touch with the customers and all that. And then I did as well. So they did over the phone, and I did as well, mostly from the evacuation center over at the Budweiser Center. So we tried to work that angle of it. But then going through our own situation, you know, having a 6-month-old and being evacuated, we just tried to keep life as normal as possible for her. Very grateful that the Embassy Suites, you know, helped us out with, you know, they gave us a better rate, and then also their situation where they have 2 rooms was wonderful for an infant because she goes to bed at, you know, at that time 6 at night, and we don't want to go to bed at 6 at night, so it worked well. So we made that home. You're very, very hopeful, and you cling to everything. Like when we would go to the evacuation center for their briefings, I don't think I missed a one, and I would go to them and listen carefully and listen to what the fire was doing. And these poor fire guys, the Poudre chief here in town, the Risk Canyon chief, and as well as Sheriff Smith, these guys are just working day and night. And they even were trying to ask us if they could not have these briefings, but it's all you have to cling to. The briefing is all you have. So, you know, so you needed that. And so we pleaded with them to do that, and they continued to do it, even though it meant, you know, that was probably 3 hours for them, well, probably more than 3 hours because of the briefing, 3 or 4 hours for them to leave the mountains, come, talk to us, take questions, and then get back to their post. And in that 3 to 4 hours, you know, much could have happened. And so that's, you know, that was really great of them to give us something to cling to. But you just hope that it's not you. Somehow the things you did are gonna help your house make it. So it was after a briefing, and I got a phone call, and I found out we lost the house. So again, trying to keep life as normal as possible, and I get a little teary-eyed, but trying to keep life as normal as possible. My wife and daughter were at Eldora at their swimming class that they have for kids. And so I went there, and I just waited in the lobby at Eldora, you know, between the swimming pool and the skating rink, waited for class to end. And then, you know, went in and told them, you know, and we cried. So, yeah, you know, it's you know, reliving that, but that's we cried. You know, I cried that day, and I thought I'd cry the day we moved back in. I didn't cry, but it was still a massive feeling for us to be done, because the work that came from losing your house to the work that comes to getting back in your house is tremendous. That's tremendous. You know, it's a ton of work. So I'm working 2 angles of it. I have a business that's very involved in this process, and I have 6 other customers in addition to myself that lost their house. I have another 14 customers who lost something. Fences, sheds. I don't know a person up there that didn't lose something. Everybody lost something. During that piece of time, which was the fall after the fire, so that would be go to work, go up and dig through ashes till it's dark, go home and pop up the laptop and list out your socks and your shoes and your kitchen glasses and your dishes and all of that. And that's when you realize what you forgot. And sometimes that's really hard. Everybody handled the emotions differently. I tend to think we did fairly okay. But I will say, when we passed a year from that fire and we weren't back in our house, we weren't even close, then it got really hard. That was that was dig deep time. That was hard. The northern Colorado community, amazing, amazing people. You know, and I don't know what all their political devices are and stuff, but our Risk Canyon Fire Chief, Bob Gann, the Poudre Fire Chief, the Sheriff Justin Smith, they were all amazing, and their teams were amazing, and they got things done. The Northern Colorado Rebuilding Network was a deal that popped up from the Crystal Fire, and it helped them, it helped us more, then it helped the Estes Park Fire people, then it helped the flood people, and what they do is they just help people based on need under the condition that you'll build better, more energy efficient, safer, whatever. And so they helped us purchase, you know, probably about 20% of our windows in our house, which was sure special. But more importantly, they organized volunteer events. So we had a neighbor who rebuilt their pole barn, and I went over and helped them on that project, and that was coordinated by the NoCo Rebuilding. So they got a bunch of people to come out and help these folks, you know, dig holes and set posts and whatever type of stuff. So that's a real special group of people. And then just the businesses, you know, that kicked in, the Jacks giving us clothes, the Poudre School District holding the Stone Soup event in the winter for us, and giving out books and clothes and Christmas ornaments and all that. The restaurants giving, you know, free meals. I mean, that's such a common story. You know, we had 3 or 4 restaurants give us free meals, but I heard stories of almost every restaurant giving out free meals to people that who had gone through this. And so, and then all the people, all the individuals, neighbors that donated to the recovery center that was at Mervin's, and the clothes and the silverware and the food and all of that, the American Red Cross and the Salvation Army, and then the CSU and the Larimer County, all kicking in for all this other recovery stuff, and the Home Depot and Lowe's of the world, and everybody just came together. They came together for us, you know, and it was just amazing. It was just like you just kept hearing thing after thing after thing of people giving stuff. And then stores as far away as like Denver, IKEA, giving people 30% off on $10,000. It's like a $3,000 gift. Here you go. You know, just amazing. But as far as Risk Canyon community, I now say to people, and everybody knows it's true, and it's good. It's a good thing. We've been forgotten now, and that's good, because people don't want to live in tragedy. People want to move on. People have happy things to do. But that is kind of difficult because there's people that are still living through this. But after about a year, you know, everybody moves on, and that's a good thing. But that community up there, we've got a couple really neat things. We've got our fire department, and we've got Stove Prairie School. And between those two groups, there's been a number of events where we're able to come together, have a potluck, talk to each other, and just be a community. And I have to say that's special. That's a special thing.